If you've got redness, today I'm going to run you through some of my favourite product recommendations to keep your skin as calm as possible. If I've not met you before, I'm Rose. I've got two different types of rosacea. Type 1, which causes persistent flushing, and then type 2, which can cause kind of angry bumps and texture in the skin. I was diagnosed 7.5 years ago, and since then I've done loads of research into rosacea. I document my journey in videos like this, and I'm very fortunate through work that I get to speak to consultant dermatologists all the time, so anything that I share has been corroborated by experts. The products I'm going to show you today are from an edit I put together for the Indie Best at The Independent, and to write this feature I spoke to 4 different dermatologists. So there was Dr. Derrick Phillips, Dr. Ifeoma Ejikeme, Dr. Justine Hextall and Dr. Zainab Laftah. I just want to mention them at the very top of the video because if you are struggling with your skin, I think we're so lucky in this day and age that consultant dermatologists are on social media and that their videos are readily available to watch. So I would definitely recommend looking at any of their pages and just having a little look and keeping it with their advice day to day. This is the feature I'm going to refer to, so if you just Google this title and put The Independent next to it, it'll come up really easily. And I went into loads of detail about each product in this, so if you're specifically interested in ingredients and you're looking for things to be in your skincare or not be in your skincare, you're probably better off going straight to read this because I'm not going to touch on that in this video. What I want to do instead is just have a bit of a chat through, give you some ideas as a starting point, and also remind you that if something isn't on that list, it doesn't mean it's not good or it's not the best, and everyone's skin is different, so whatever works for you, if it's working for you, you crack on and enjoy that. So my top pick from the whole piece was the Avene Redness Expert Moisturiser. It's relatively new from them, and why I really liked it is they have a patented ingredient in there that is specifically designed to target heat in the skin, and I think in particular if you have something like rosacea, or even if the redness in your skin is triggered by something like menopause, heat can be a really irritating factor, and it's nice to have that under control. It's a tiny little part, so when I first saw it I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere, but actually it lasts a really long time. It's kind of like an icing consistency. It's lovely and rich, and I've gone through 2 full jars of that and I really enjoyed using it. It sits really well under your makeup as well if you wear makeup. A side note on Avene, Avene is one of the few brands that you could confidently get your entire redness rosacea routine from them. They're a really reliable brand when it comes to sensitivity and redness, so they would definitely be one that I would encourage you to look to in the first instance. My best budget buy from the feature was the Inkey List Ectoin Hydro Barrier Serum. Now I did note that this isn't necessarily designed to be a targeted redness treatment, but the thing is with redness, so often there is a big relationship between having redness in your skin and having a compromised skin barrier, and I think what the Inkey List do really well is have products that are designed to target just one thing really well, and this serum is great for helping the skin barrier. So if you want something to essentially get a bit more to the root of the problem that isn't going to cost the earth, that's a great one. And I would encourage you to have a little look on my rosacea playlist on TikTok or YouTube. They're a bit easier to navigate than Instagram, is why I call them out, but I've got a Q&A with Colette, the founder, that I think you'll find really helpful for more affordable picks for redness prone skin. My favourite gentle cleanser was the La Roche-Posay Toleriane Dermocleanse. I've spoken about this for years. I think it's the best cleanser for redness overall. This would be my #1 pick for you if you're at the beginning of your redness or rosacea journey, and again the La Roche-Posay Toleriane range, anything from that range is great for rosacea. I'll be honest with you, I could have put the whole list as things from La Roche-Posay, but you're not allowed to do that. But it truly, you cannot go wrong with the Toleriane range. One thing I'd say about this cleanser, a dermatologist told me years ago, this has been designed for the most sensitive, sensitised skin to be gentle enough for them. If you're having an issue with that cleanser, which sometimes people will tell me they are, because whenever I mention a product recommendation, someone will always say it doesn't work for them. I've been told by dermatologists in the past that that cleanser is so gentle. If there is a problem that you're experiencing with that, it's a sign that your skin is very compromised at the moment and it might be time to seek a bit of extra support. So just in case you've tried that or you're thinking of trying it, it can also read as a good kind of temperature check. as to whether your skin might have progressed to the point where a little bit of further support could be helpful for you. Now, the Toleriane Dermocleanse is a brilliant cream cleanser that gets all of your makeup off really gently. Another cream cleanser that I love is the Skin Rocks cream cleanser. This is one of my favourite ever products. I've gone through so many of these. Now, what I'll say, if you read the feature, the ingredients at the helm of both of these is completely different, even though they're both gentle creams that will remove your makeup. I just think with the Skin Rocks cleanser, the ingredients in that get your makeup off that bit more quickly. They feel just as gentle, but if you've got loads of makeup on, or you like to wear a lot of eyeshadow and things like I do, that might just pip it to the post in terms of speed, and it still feels really lovely. And just speaking of cleansers, I'll be really honest with you, I am an Elemis cleansing balm girl. The thing with me making these rosacea videos is I'm always mindful to recommend things that will be universally as safe as possible, but the reality is, like, my skin, touch wood, is playing ball at the moment, so I can go outside the lines a bit, and I'd rather just tell you the truth. I know I'll get loads of feedback of, oh, but you're not meant to use XYZ. The Elemis cleansing balm has been a favourite of mine for years, and it really works beautifully. If my skin is particularly red and sensitised, I'll go back to the fail safes, but day to day, if I've got a lot of makeup on, that's what I'm using to take it off. Best affordable moisturiser was the Serum facial moisturising lotion. I've known and loved this one for years. It's a really lovely rich cream. Again, sits beautifully under your makeup. Affordable, you can't go wrong with it. For the best day cream, I chose the Vichy Mineral 89. This is one that I've gone through jars and jars of since it launched, I think a few years ago. It's just a great kind of all-rounder. Again, your makeup sits really well over it. It is, I would say, like a medium level of hydration. There's a richer version if you want a slightly deeper hydration, and again, it's super gentle, very minimal ingredients in that one, so it is very unlikely that you're going to find something in there that will irritate your skin if you're particularly sensitive. And then for night cream, I chose the La Roche-Posay Dermallergo night cream. Now, interestingly, this was one of Justine's picks as well, and she was telling me that there's a patented ingredient in here that is designed to target the kind of stinging that can come with redness, so that is a really lovely one. In all honesty, any of those three creams, the CeraVe, the Vichy, the La Roche-Posay, you could use both of them interchangeably night and day. I love that one in the day as much as the night, but ultimately it's just about which texture you like the best, which one is most in your budget, which one is most readily available to you. I'd recommend any of the three of them. The one I've used the most of is the Vichy one. Best SPF, you could be here all day. For the purpose of this feature, I chose a lovely Garnier SPF. I think that Garnier do SPF really, really well. They're often affordable, they're often very lightweight, very comfortable. They often say the best SPF is the one that you wear every day, and I think that Garnier make it possible with their formulas that they're comfortable enough to wear every day. But by all means, there are a million different SPFs I could have chosen for that. La Roche-Posay Anthelios comes to mind. I use that one all the time. SPF's very personal, but if you don't want to spend a fortune and you want a great one, go to Garnier. And the thing I would say with redness is, redness, the sun is one of the biggest triggers of rosacea specifically. So not only are you protecting your skin from the sun when you wear SPF, you are reducing the risk of having a redness flare-up. So it really is a no-brainer to have it on every day. Oh, now the next one, the best overnight mask, I chose the Laneige Cica sleeping mask. Whenever you do a feature like this, you put a call out and say, if anyone would like me to try something, this is what I'm working on, and please feel free to send recommendations. So obviously I have things I've known and loved for years, but you always try if anyone wants to show you something. And I'll be really honest with Laneige, I love the lip masks and the lip balms and things. I think they're great. I just wasn't expecting this to be anything special. I kind of thought, oh, is this really the right thing for them? It was brilliant. What I really liked about it is sometimes things with Cica in them are actually too active if you're particularly sensitive or sore, and it was a really comforting mask and really enjoyable to use. If you want a little treat slotted into the week, I would really recommend it. Right, for the best targeted treatment, I chose the Klira Special, and this is one of the most important things in this article. If you have reached a point where your redness is distressing you every day, your skin is distressing you every day, certain things like rosacea, acne, they need medical intervention because they're actually medical conditions if you want to really get a handle on them. The Klira Special is an online, it starts as an online consultation. You send photos of your skin, you fill out an extensive questionnaire. They will custom make a formula that you use every day with prescription strength ingredients in it. For lots of people, the solution for you might just be that you need a slightly stronger step in your routine, because things like a gentle cleanser, a great moisturiser, a great SPF are only going to go so far if there's something else that needs targeting. I personally, in my Klira Special, find that the prescription strength azelaic acid is what keeps my texture and bumps at play, calm, sorry. But of all the things, this would be the number one recommendation I would have for you if your skin is bothering you. Instead of trying lots of different things and hoping one of them works, why not speak to a complete expert? I'm so sorry. The dishwasher is being unloaded behind me. I can hardly hear myself think. I hope you can hear me. Why try all of these different things and try all of these different routes when you can just go to an expert that looks at your skin, knows exactly what's going on and exactly what to use on it? If Klira is a little bit out of your budget, there is also another service, the Boots Online Doctor, that I would really recommend. Now, both of these I'd wholeheartedly recommend, but they're different. So Klira makes you a blend of several ingredients that are suited to you, whereas the Boots Online Doctor, how that one works is you can request a prescription cream that you have identified might be right for you. So again, you fill out an online consultation, you show them photos of your skin. They then look and check whether you are eligible for that treatment based on your answers and your photos. And then you can request a prescription treatment, which in their cases tends to be like a single ingredient rather than a blend. But either way, two great options, and depending on which treatment you get, the prices would be different. My cream from the Boots Online Doctor, for example, works out at about £25, and like the Klira Special, the blend, is £59 per month. One thing I would say, like, I know that's a big investment, but I promise you, I never recommend things, in particular when it comes to redness, unless I feel really confident in them. And I would have no qualms you spending that money because I know the results that you would see. Now, this is a really interesting one. The Best Redness Neutraliser, Dr. Jart Cicapair. I've used this for years, I love it. I think that the great thing about Dr. Jart Cicapair, it's like a green corrector. I'm doing this because I always put it on the back of my hand to warm it up. You put it on the back of your hand, warm it up, it melts down into more of a beige tone. You have to use it just on the areas of redness, because why would we be using green anywhere else? It's not going to look right. If you just use it targeted to the areas of redness, it's a great corrector for the days when you don't want to wear makeup, or if you're watching this and you don't wear makeup. It's not makeup itself, it's like pigmented skincare. So I don't want to generalise here. Men and women can of course wear makeup, but so often men will reach out to me and say, I don't wear makeup, I don't want to look like I'm wearing makeup, but I want to neutralise the redness. The Dr. Jart Cicapair is great for that. But interestingly, they have just reformulated it. I filmed a video with it just this week that I'll be sharing soon. It now has a mineral SPF 30 in it, and I would say it's a bit easier to blend. I've written in the notes here that, let me see, I was reading it a second ago, it dries to a natural matte finish. I'd say it dries to a slightly more satin finish now, which makes it a bit easier to work with and blend. So if you haven't tried it yet, try the new one, and if you already love it, try the new one. So this was a recommendation for hormonal skin, because my brief for this feature was a redness list, and so not everyone has rosacea specifically. So a lot of the ingredients in this particular brand might not be quite right for something as specific as rosacea, but I loved this brand. They're called Made of More, and I was reading all about them. Again, this was one that was suggested to me and I loved, and I have to say, like, it does make a difference. The team that I was speaking to was so friendly and helpful, and the girl from the PR team was clearly so passionate about them. It just, I really got such a lovely impression of them. Made of More has been specifically formed to kind of target any changes in your skin to do with the menopause. Really lovely brand story. I had put this rescue balm, it was like a solid balm in a squeezy tube that is like a deep intensive restorative treat. Again, I thought it could be lovely for maybe if you had maybe flushing on the neck, or just something as an instant, oh gosh, we're very dry and irritated here, let's turn it around. I slightly marked it down for the simplest thing that it isn't the easiest to get out of the pot. But in general, lovely brand, lovely range. Some of the products were on the pricier side. And the thing is, when you're putting together these things for the independent, if I know that CeraVe is super affordable, it's really, really difficult for someone to come in and have something so unique and so different that they can justify being so much more expensive than something great that's affordable. So I remember price being a big consideration for me with them, but I thought the products themselves were great. I tried quite a few things from that range and I just think they'd be a lovely one to have a look at. We're 2 from the end. So as an instant redness reliever, I chose the Ella & Jo Facial Mist. Ella & Jo are a lovely female-owned Irish skincare brand, and basically their mists come in these lovely aluminium jars. I just find they're really densely hydrating. They have them scented and unscented, and again, I know it's against the rosacea rules, but I actually find that the scented orange blossom version is lovely and my skin can tolerate it, and it just makes a bit of a ritual out of it. They've actually just reformulated the packaging as well, so that's one to keep in mind. Like the photo here is going to look different to what it is now, but a very lovely densely hydrating mist that if you were to put it on through the day will really make a big difference. And also the fact that it's in the metal component means that it's really cooling if you're hot and you just want to instantly cool down. And then a hot topic, and this is something that I want to do a whole separate segue into, but it will take me a long time to research, so I will do it, but stay with me because I'm sure you can imagine it is something I want to make sure I've got lots of evidence behind. I selected the Omnilux LED mask. Now, LED masks are something that more and more people are asking me about, and there is definitely evidence to suggest that it's a really great thing in terms of generally keeping up your skin health, but in particular for helping to reduce redness. I really enjoyed using this one. I thought it was really user-friendly. Day to day, I'll be honest, the thing that really makes a big difference for me is my prescription strength azelaic acid. We're all different, but like if you were to invest in one part of your routine, I would personally say the best investment made is in your targeted treatment. But all of that said, this was a brilliant LED mask that I would really recommend. I'm just very mindful, given it has a £350 price tag, that I want to emphasise that even though I do really recommend it and we wanted to include a gadget to round off the piece, I'm not saying that spending 350 quid is the answer, because so often when you do an edit like this, people's assumption is that the most expensive thing is the most effective, and it's not the case. It's just that we wanted to include all of these different touch points, and I don't want you to feel pressured to spend loads of money on something when there might be something else on the list that was less expensive that will also do a great job. But that said, if you want an LED mask, I would really recommend that one. I wanted that video to be 10 minutes long, I dread to think. There are a few suggestions. You can read the feature in full for more on specific ingredients and things like that. I'll be really honest with you. One of the reasons I find it really difficult to recommend products is that you've always offended someone. Every time I share a recommendation, someone will say, well, I can't use this ingredient, I can't use that ingredient. And I totally get that rosacea can be really debilitating, it can make you feel really terrible, and it is really frustrating. I would just ask you to take all of that with a bit of grace. I have tried my hardest to put together an edit that will be as universally pleasing as possible for redness rather than rosacea. And just have a look as well. I have loads of older videos if you want alternative recommendations. The other thing as well, so often someone will say, what do you use, like what's your routine? I tend to follow set rules. Like I tend to remove my makeup with a cream cleanser or a cleansing balm. I always use like a simple buttery hydrating moisturiser, something like the Vichy or the CeraVe, La Roche-Posay that I mentioned there. But so often for things like this, I'll be trying different things, or if I'm traveling, it might be as simple as, like, I love that Vichy moisturiser, but I've gone to loads of festivals this summer and you can't take glass into them. So I've tended to take the La Roche-Posay Toleriane sensitive cream. And like, for example, my skin has been really dry, so I've actually been using Cicaplast as like an evening moisturiser a lot of the time. I'll write all of these in the description, but I suppose what I'm saying is it's not black and white. And I hope that you take this as a great starting point, and that ultimately the number one thing I'd want you to get out of any rosacea or redness video from me, to get the best advice, it's really important to just see someone one-to-one. I did a video a couple of months ago that actually this feels like a nice time to recap on. Boots actually have Dr. Justine Hextall, who was one of the experts in that feature. Dr. Justine has trained pharmacists across the country in Boots, so that if you go in, you can have a conversation with the pharmacist. It's free, you don't need to book anything like that, but they can give you slightly elevated skincare advice to target things like rosacea, acne, eczema, just to be that kind of touch point person if you're struggling to, you know, speak to a doctor or a derm. And whoever you speak to, I would just ask someone to see you face to face and go through your concerns, because each of us has different caveats. Like, you might have redness and oily skin. I have redness and very dry skin, so I might be recommending really rich oily things that would be a nightmare for you. But ultimately, I really hope you find something useful out of this and you find what works. And I will keep checking in if I find something new, or if I have any new learnings, or I've spoken to an expert. But anyway, do have a read of that feature. I know it's hard to believe when I've gone on for this long, but there's loads in there that I haven't said on here. And have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll chat to you soon.